The evening of May 21st, my friends and I, Sarah, Yaron, and Abby, we carpooled to the Capitol Jewish Museum for an event that was for young diplomats hosted by AJC. And I had never been to this event before. Sarah and Abby and Yaron had been in previous years. This was an annual celebration. And we were meeting with people that work at embassies from so many different countries. There were more than 40 represented, including 2 from Poland. And we were celebrating, just diplomacy in general. We were talking about bringing aid into Gaza at that time. And we were representatives of the Israeli embassy. And we were closing out the night. It was about 9 o'clock. We had finished, the program had finished. It's a classic DC thing to network a little bit after. And we were talking with old contacts, new friends, new contacts. And we were exiting the museum. And we were walking towards Abby's car. We had carpooled together. She was going to drive each of us home. So we turned right out of the museum and started walking down the sidewalk. And right as we were about to cross the street, Abby's car was on the other side of the street. I remember Abby asking me, which direction is my car? And I said, straight ahead, right by the Italian church. Because when we were walking in, I noticed that they had a welcome to Pope Leo sign. This was May of 2025, shortly after his election. After that, I suddenly heard very loud noises that sounded like this, but louder. It was echoing off the buildings, and I noticed that. So I thought to myself, I would say it was about, this was all within a few split seconds. So what I'm saying is I heard 2 really loud noises. That's probably within a second. I remember looking up because I noticed that it was echoing off the ceilings and the tops of the buildings around us. And then I thought to myself, what if those aren't fireworks? And in that moment that the thought formulated in my mind, I immediately turned right without knowing not knowing what gunfire it was. I honestly thought it might be a drive-by shooting. Those happen sometimes in DC. So I turned the corner, started running, and then I kept hearing the popping noises behind me. I noticed that they were a little bit quieter. So I thought to myself, again, this is all within a span of a few seconds. I thought, okay, something's happening behind me. And then I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I'm running in a straight line. So I immediately saw an SUV off to my left that was parked next to the sidewalk that I was running by. And I said, I'm going to go under that one because the car that had passed me was a smaller vehicle, but I noticed that this had like a bumper higher off the ground. Mm-hmm. So I thought, okay, I think I can climb under that. So I don't really remember hitting the ground, but I remember getting close to the car, still hearing the popping noises behind me and thinking to myself, am I really going to get under a car right now? What if those are fireworks? What am I doing? I'm thinking maybe this is just an overreaction. And then I just kept climbing under the car, and these popping noises are still happening behind me.
The gunman fired 21 shots, correct?
That's correct. Yes. And then that's when my colleague and friend Abby slid right next to me. I felt something slam into me under the car. And then she was breathless telling me that Yaron got shot. And I didn't say anything. I was silent. And then Abby said again, Yaron got shot, and then paused and said, oh my God, I think I'm going to have a heart attack. And I noticed that it was silent on the street because now I understand, I didn't know that at the time. After shootings, typically it's complete silence on the street because it's shocking and most people run away. There's nobody there. And I remember I didn't turn to her, but I remember I clenched my fist and I said, Abby, shut up. I swear to God, shut up. Because I thought if it's not a drive-by, if there were that many shots fired, maybe it's a mass shooting, like maybe they're looking for people. Mm-hmm. And I was worried that they could see our legs under the car. And so I remember it was silent for a time. I don't know how long, but I remember we were quiet.
Did the police come and rescue you? Did they extract you from this?
The police came and Abby got out from under the car and I was still hiding under the car. I wanted to stay under that car. It gave me protection.
To what do you attribute these incredible instincts that you had? Has it ever crossed your mind that you possibly could be caught up in what you thought was either a drive-by shooting or an actual terrorist attack?
A lot of people ask me that, especially after the attack, because of how quickly I reacted.
Exactly.
I played goaltender in field hockey and lacrosse for many, many years.
Interesting.
I was ranked the best goalie in the state of Michigan in 2014, voted unanimously. I didn't actually think to run. I just thought, what if those aren't fireworks? I've always been, honestly, a very alert and aware person.
How would you describe this situation right now. Are you concerned?
I noticed that the anti-Semitism that people demonstrate is when I talk about Israel, and then the people that are hesitant about it. So some people are just, I say, innocently naive, like aren't aware about things, and they say, oh, that's interesting, and then they are curious. I wouldn't, I don't describe that as anti-Semitism. It's naive, like innocence in that way. But I have noticed where people are very uncomfortable about talking about Israel, also are uncomfortable talking about Jewish topics.
Now, you've been to Auschwitz previously.
That's
but
correct.
This year is the first time that you're actually going to participate in the march. What motivated you to do that?
I would say that my father passed away about a year and a half ago, and there was something that he taught me. I asked him when I was in high school. He had family that was killed in the Holocaust, and he would talk about that.
And he was Polish.
Yes, both of my parents are from Poland. I'm from the outside the Warsaw area, so I grew up speaking Polish at home. And it took me to researching at Yad Vashem, doing Polish-English translation, and focusing my master's in Jewish studies in Jerusalem on Poland and Jewish life in Poland. And I would say that he would talk about the Holocaust infrequently. We would talk about World War II a lot, but the Holocaust was a very sensitive topic for him. But I remember asking him in high school, will they build gas chambers again? Will the anti-Semites build gas chambers again? And he said, no. But then he continued and said, they'll come up with something better.
Oh.
And what I have noticed post the attack, especially what I call the attack on May 21st, there was 21 bullets that were fired. And the whole purpose for the creation of gas chambers was to increase productivity, the productivity of death.
The mechanization of death.
Yes, and to cut down on costs of labor and materials. And now we're at a point where 21 shots weren't enough. The gunman wanted to keep shooting, from what I understand. I didn't see it, but this is what I've heard. And the gun couldn't keep shooting. He had more bullets. So we're now at a point where the killing of Jews is an enjoyable process or a glorified process. The Nazis were disillusioned with the process of death. They wanted someone else to handle it. They knew that it was grotesque and disgusting, and they didn't want to have anything to do with it. But now we're at the point where killing Jews is enjoyable. Look at October 7th.
Yep. So being here on the march, what do you think you're going to experience?
I don't like saying that I'm a survivor of an attack while we're standing here in Auschwitz where, so many didn't survive. But
there is an absolute parallel.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I have said that, this is going to be my 5th time walking through a gas chamber. And the second time I came, I said, who am I to walk away from a gas chamber twice, still living? And sometimes, of course, I think, who am I first to be somebody who walked away from 21 bullets with none? So
resilience and revival. Catherine, thank you so much for spending time with us. And we are so glad you're here.
Thank you, Erin.